It's Paul from Wolf Software Systems, just moving this recording toolbar out of the way. Okay, so I want to talk a bit about documents and what the work we've been doing with document searching and document cataloging. One of the problems with most companies is that they don't actually do anything with the documents, just throw them in great big folders and they store them for years when they're actually full of really useful data. But because the data is unstructured, it just gets forgotten. It can be Excel spreadsheets, it could be Word documents, it could be open office documents. It doesn't really matter. So you're storing all these documents, and I was talking to a guy the other day, he reckoned about 2,500 sitting on OneDrive. Okay, so this is the Intelligent Wolf framework. What is that? So I'm just going to go to our wiki. Part of our Intelligent Wolf framework is it does have a wiki built into it. So if I go to this file there, you can see we've got our application, which is what you're looking at, which is a huge application that does all kinds of things. We've got our software framework, and we've got our wolf stack. And I'm just going to refresh the page there, and we've got our wolf stack. So, and the wolf stack is basically MariaDB, Galera cluster, some kind of virtualization, normally Proxmox. We normally run on 3 bare metal servers in a cluster, but sometimes we've got one cluster with 5 and 7. With a lot of virtual machines and everything like that. So that's what you're basically looking at here. So, but let's go back to your documents. So we've got this integrations thing, and in the integrations, you can see you can integrate with lots of different things. S3 compatible storage. You see I've got a few of them set up there. Slack, Arthur Online is a property piece of software. We're developing a property system at the moment on Intelligent Wolf. But anyway, let's go back to these documents, these terrible documents. Let's go into here, documents like this, and you can see I've got 3 different document sources, and I can browse around those within this page and go into any part of the documents like this, as you can see, and then I can go to the so what we've got these scanners that will scan the different document sources and index them, and we don't care then where the documents are. So for instance, here I've got one in, let's go to here, I've got some in OneDrive, I've got some in Google Drive, I've got some in the S3 storage, and I can search. But let's start off with the AI search. So I can do a search, I can ask questions. So I can say, what benefits do MariaDB give us? Okay, then it does a RAG search, and there it is. Okay. And what it does, you see how fast that was as well. So it does a RAG, what's called a RAG search. So it uses the data in the documents and the AI to answer some questions and provide me with some basic information. So if you were a chartered surveyor, for instance, you could say, what do I need to look for if I'm doing a survey in Bushy? Or, and it could come back with some answers based on the amount of documents that it finds. You can also do a keyword search, copy DBS. So there you go. So it found something on our S3 storage called copy DBS. I can go back to my RAG search, and I can go, tell me what property. I'll tell you what, show me information about our work with property. Searching with AI. And then it'll come up with some answers to tell us of the sort of things that we're doing with property based on the provided documents. So basically, you can see we can interrogate all that data in all those documents and get sensible, reasonable answers. So it's not only being able to search through documents and download them directly from their document source, but also being able to ask questions about the contents and what's in those documents and get intelligent answers, and also being able to navigate through your files in one place. So if that's useful to you as a business, it's a pretty useful tool, and that's just a tiny part of it. I mean, we've got all kinds of things within our systems that you can use to develop your business. And so if we haven't got what you want, we can write it on top of our platform. So I hope that's useful. If you're interested in any of that, we're partners with the amazing MariaDB. So we're doing a lot of vector work with MariaDB databases, which is what you've just basically seen. That's vector databases. Get in touch, sales@wolf.uk.com, or give us a shout online. You can get hold of us on LinkedIn if you just search for Wolf Software Systems Limited, or you can just PM us or leave a message on the YouTube or whatever, and we'll do a discovery call with you. Let's talk about your issues, even if you just want to have some of this document goodness and actually make some use of all those thousands of documents you've been storing for years. Hope that's useful. Signing off.